So I'm going to use, I know it's really powerful because I have a loud voice, but because of the recording, just to make sure the voice is clear for those parents that couldn't make it, I'm going to use the microphone and ask the teachers to do the same. Like I said, I think you could all hear me if I went like this without the mic, but I'm doing it for the sake of the recording. Welcome, 5th grade outdoor ed. Aren't we excited? I want to ask, who is it? It's your oldest child who's going for the first time. It's pretty exciting, first timers. That's awesome.
It is so much fun.
It's an exciting time. I'm going to tell you, when I sat through Timothy's meeting, that's my oldest, it was, even though I knew the process, it was still that, what's going on? Where's my returning families? Just wave your hand. Look at this confidence, and I will be honest, some of them won't be here possibly today as well because they've had the experience. But we are glad that you're here. It is going to be a great event. So you were all asked to get your packet, or we tried to hand it to you with your child's name on it. There's a specific reason for that, because when you return stuff, we're going to ask you to return it in this packet as well. So Mrs. Hanson, who does all the paperwork components, loves keeping it all together in this packet. So really quickly going to touch the pieces of paper in there, and then the teachers are going to sort of give you more of an explanation of each piece of paper. But if you pull out all of your contents of your packet, you should see the front page right here says Outdoor Science School Information Packet. So that's this whole thing here. Again, Outdoor Ed is February the 6th through February the 9th. So we're going for a 3-night, 4-day experience, if that makes sense. So the kids will be spending 3 nights up in the cabins at High Trails, and they will be leaving on a leaving on a Tuesday, coming back on Friday.
Into a 3-day weekend.
Yes, into a 3-day weekend. Thank you, Mrs. Crane. So that was, we don't do a full week because homesickness sometimes kicks in that extra day. So if you were hoping for 5 days, but we don't go do that. But they'll come back exhausted. Let me be very honest in that.
You see them on Tuesday, you see them on Friday. It's Wednesday, Thursday, you don't see them.
So
just think of it that way.
So with that, this front page is all the dates and stuff, but you're going to then see the next page is what we call the Parents Guide. This is your fun to read, talking about everything. We're going to get an overview video as we go through. If I can point out really quick on top, they have, it says hightrails.com, but that's not where we typically go. Their website that they go by is dirtyclassroom.com. So just to know that, and that's where we are right now, and it really is dirtyclassroom.com. But if you type in High Trails, you'll get there as well. They have so many resources, videos of what's going on. We're going to show you one of those videos today. Oh, the link is already there, so Dirty Classroom.
It's on your newsletter that we just sent out. If you need to find it, it's on the...
But we're not going to read the whole parent guide, but that's your fun as we go through. The next form is our commitment form. This is a form that we do ask to receive from every student. So that's telling us, yes, I plan for my child to attend. No, I'm not planning. Or here's my other components about options of payment. So I get to be the one to talk about money. So it is $290 is the cost of camp and a camp t-shirt. That covers all of their food expense, traveling with the buses. We charter our buses that pick up here at Red Hill, take them up to now I'm blanking on the name of the city that we go to. Angeles Oaks. And then the bus picks them up from Angeles Oaks and brings them back down. So that when we do a charter bus, that way they have their chains and everything equipped. They're certified, Class D license. I might not have the right class, but it's all those pieces that we go through. So we don't use a yellow school bus. We do go through the charter experience for that reason, for our kiddo safety. With that, the commitment form also talks about if you want to do a payment form. So your first payment, which happens to be the same day that the commitment form needs to be returned back, is November the 17th. If you're paying that whole payment then, it's the $290, or at least on the 17th, half that payment of $145, with the other half due December the 15th. The next form is your consent health form. Every student needs one of these. Very, very important that they fill out. The teachers are going to talk about discipline. I'm not sure who gets to share that well when they talk about it, but they'll be talking about the discipline. I need to say that the biggest thing for me is after so many strikes that they receive, I could get that phone call that says, Mr. Ederson, I need you to come get a student. That student isn't able to be at camp. So either I will go up and get your student and then have you meet me back here at school, or I'll arrange with you to go pick up your student. I just have to work through High Trails. I have never done it yet. This is my 8th year at Red Hill. We're about to send students, and I sent students at Bay as well. haven't picked up a student yet. That's not our goal. I just need to be very clear.
And my son went last year, so it's very common.
It's a good group of kids, so I don't plan on, this is one of those that I'm not going to expect a growth mindset. The growth mindset is it's still not going to happen yet as we go through. And the last one, our teachers are going to get into the packing list as well. So that's what all these components are that we'll talk about in just a little bit. But I'm going to give you an overview, and it's pretty fun for me. This overview, and I just want to show you as well, parents. So if you go here, and everything is open. So where you see it says schools, that's what I'm clicking on. You can do the same thing. If I click on videos, it takes to the same page for all of us. There's a students one. And if I scroll down further, I'm going to take you to the school and parent one. And that's the video I'm just going to ask you guys to watch with us right now. It's about 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
I've only got a couple minutes here to tell you the 4 most important things you need to know about High Trails. First, though, let's talk about what we do up here. It's called outdoor education. Outdoor education is a broad term used to describe organized learning that takes place outside in nature. Our specific area of outdoor ed can be described as environmental education. We focus on helping students build self-esteem, understanding how they fit into their communities, and teaching them all about the natural world around them. In a nutshell, we're trying to give them a bigger picture perspective of the intertwined relationship between humans and nature. Now that we've got outdoor education covered, let's talk about High Trails. We've been running non-stop since the year 2000. Every year, more than 8,000 students in 100 elementary schools come up here for 3, 4, and 5-day programs. What this means to you is that we've been doing this long enough that we have a really firm grasp of what it takes to keep students learning, keep students having fun, and most importantly, how to keep students safe. We base our program on the staff we hire, train, and support. We start by recruiting all over the country. 90% of our staff come out to California just to work at High Trails. Basic qualifications for our staff to work here: they need a 4-year college degree. They've got to have first aid and CPR certifications. And they've got to pass a background check, California Department of Justice and the FBI. We keep investing in our staff as the school year goes on. We teach 2 educational services every week. And each member of our staff gets 6 written classroom evaluations every school year. I do encourage you, head over to the staff section of our website. There you can see how much care and effort we put into hiring great staff for your students. The order of priorities at High Trails: first is safety, then learning, finally it's fun. When you've got a program that sees more than 8,000 students a year, you've got to approach it from an organized and structured perspective. We address these issues by having a jam-packed, no downtime schedule, and by supervising your students the entire time they're here. We've got 2 sets of staff to supervise students, one during the day while they're in the field, while the other set actually sleeps overnight with them in the cabins. The only time we're not actively monitoring the students is when they're in the restrooms or the showers. We've got a 24-hour on-site and on-call medic, ready for situations big and small. Students practice emergency evacuation drills at the beginning of every week. And our staff, they carry first aid kits and 2-way radios, so that if they need help, all they have to do is call. The last step, we've got to show you what we actually do up here. We have more than 20 classes. Let's check them all out.
Michelle, so where's 120?
Oh, the tree I chopped down is sort of... There's a lot that we haven't covered here. We do, though, have a website stuffed full of information just waiting for you. Weather and lesson plans, to sites and food. We've got it all covered.
Wow, clapping? All right. So apparently I'm in charge of talking about packing. And I tried to dress the part to be semi-entertaining because this could be a little dry. So you need to be thinking pack 3. 1 is on their body. 1 is for their sleeping. So their pillow, their sleeping bag, blanket, whatever you send. Okay? What page is that? There's a packing list. If you the last page is a packing list. And then 3 is a suitcase or duffel bag. Now, I'm going to start off by saying they need to be able to carry and or transport all of these items.
At the same time.
At the same time.
On their own.
And sometimes snow. Last year, we're not going to lie, it's our favorite part of the whole week. And last year, especially for me, because my son was there, and I couldn't say anything to him, but I got to watch him struggle. So just know, there are no bellhops, and there are no doormen at Outdoor Ed. They are their own luggage carriers. A few tidbits, or tips and tricks to help you out. Last year we went to record, and I repeat, even in my 42 years of living, record amounts of snow. Rumor has it, it's not going to be as monumentous this year, but there will be snow. And we're actually going 3 weeks later than we did last year. So hopefully we will get snow because that makes the experience so much special. But I'm really praying that it's not up to here this year. Because that was not so fun. And we lost a day last year because there was a big storm before we left, and we lost a day. So it was so much fun once we got up there, but we're hoping for not so much snow. So some ideas about snow, because most likely there will be snow. Number 1, when you're packing your suitcase or your duffel bag, pack the clothes in a big garbage bag, just as a wet barrier. It kind of blocks it because they do sit outside until after dinner, and then the kids get them after dinner, and sometimes that is on the ground, or they try to clean up because they usually have tarps and stuff, but that's not 100%. So just as an extra insurance policy, pack all of your clothes in a garbage bag of some sort. For their bedding, send 1 bag up, and Mrs. Young has another example. Their name needs to be on all things. And when I mean all things, I mean even chonies and socks and underwears. Flashlights, everything, anything and everything you send up, put their name on it. The likelihood of it getting to them is much higher. But send a bag with their sleeping roll and send another bag somewhere else for the ride home. Labeled, pre-labeled, it's done. Because most likely that's going to get tore up because they're going to be dragging it up the hill.
Like a half mile.
Sometimes
it is about a half mile if they have to carry their luggage. By themselves, with no help. The counselors won't help them. We just watch.
The number 1 thing is promoting independence.
They do promote teamwork, so
they sometimes, you'll see them, and it's amazing. Sometimes for us it is funny and heartwarming that they end up helping each other and figuring it out how to get up the hill. So it ends up being a positive experience, we promise. But just pack them an extra one so when they come home, they have a bag all set, it's not tore up, it's ready to roll. Some major items that are very important. Think waterproof, not water resistance. Because water resistance ended up last year not being so dry with how much snow there was. They do provide rubber boots that they can put on over their shoes. They're not very attractive, and the kids usually get mad because they don't want to wear those, but they are trying to keep them dry, they're trying to keep them safe. We all bought these last year. I think I need to buy new ones because mine were not dry. Snow pants, not a joke. Even as an extra layer of warmth, those are important, and they should have those in their backpacks on the day we go up. Because when we got off the buses last year, a lot of them go, oh, my snow pants are in the suitcase, including the teachers.
And we had to walk a little over a mile in hip-deep snow.
Without our snow pants. So we learned a little lesson last year too, but we're telling you this. First, put their snow pants in their backpacks the day they go up.
And the snow jacket.
Anything because when they get off the bus, it's cold and they're off running.
And they don't have access to this until after dinner. They only get access to this.
They carry this with them. So in this, it's the luggage piece number 1, the small school type backpack. Water bottle, you want to take it out? My lovely assistant. Water bottle with your name on it. So a plastic water bottle, know that they are the hydro flasks or whatever you guys are into.
Refillable.
Refillable.
And you want something that's not too heavy because they have to carry it. So when it's on everything, it gets heavier.
Small flashlight or headlamp, warm gloves, extra socks. I don't think I have a headlamp in there. Jack lost it. Waterproof poncho, their coat, sweatshirt, winter hat, hiking boots or snow boots. They could just have those on their feet when we get on the bus. Our biggest thing is think about layers and start talking about it with them now. The more you talk about it, the more they're going to get it. But if they have layers that they can take off, it's easier to delayer than it is to warm up. So think short sleeves, long sleeves, sweatshirt, jacket. And then they can take one off as they get warmer or colder. Think long underwear, think thermals. For the girls, leggings work beautifully. Leggings are a great layer for the ladies. What am I missing? Socks. Whatever number it says, double it. Because they can use them also for gloves. If they can't find their gloves or they lose their gloves, they can put the socks on their hands. I think Jack last year used every single pair of socks, and I think when he got off the bus, he had 3 of them on.
Well, Nate,
This
they
is being
will
recalled.
share if someone doesn't have enough socks. Someone else will have extra. Socks and chapstick.
Chapstick is a big one. Send 3 things with them.
Because their little lips will get so...
The altitude, not drinking enough water, hiking, the sun, the chapstick will be their friend. They do a really good job of pushing water on them, like make sure you drink 3 cups of water before you eat this, or you can't have the milk until you have 3 things of water. So they're pretty good about pushing the water on them, but the lips are the first thing to go. And usually, if you pack a lot of chapstick, I packed like 1 in here, 1 in here, and then like I hid another 1 in here. So if he lost it, he knew where all 3 of them were. What else am I forgetting? I think that's it.
How about electronics?
Oh,
I
yes.
think that's...
Favorite conversation. Do you want to do safety?
Yeah, food and electronics.
Food, they cannot bring,
Yeah, you're right. It's gone.
they can't bring any of their own food. If you have special dietary needs, they will work with you. If you have allergies or those kinds of things, that's all on the medical form. But we've had special dietary needs in the past, and you fill out the form, we contact them, they will answer emails if you send an email. They're really good about accommodating. Electronics. Okay, so I know you all are so over them being with a screen in their face. Guess what? This is a week for them to unplug. No phones, no iPads, no gizmo gadget thingy on the wrist can go on this trip. So, cameras need to be disposable. If you want to send them with a real camera, you're sending it at your own risk. If it gets damaged, it's not on us. So know that we are very, very good, and if you are a former parent of this regime, we do a really good job of posting 10 to 15 pictures a day on Dojo to keep you in the loop as much as possible. So we try to do it throughout the day. We're out and about and trying to get as many kids in the dojo as possible. So we're hoping to give you updates so you'll know what's going on as much as we can help you know what's going on. But we cannot have electronics up there for the kids. It's a distraction. And we're trying to, it's a good week to unplug and become one with nature and build our independence. Any questions about packing? So just think in 3s. They're not going to touch this until after dinner.
So they do go on a hike right off the bus.
They get off the bus and they go. Usually they have like a short little hike and then they have lunch and then they go on a walk. They are out from morning till late afternoon.
They come back dirty and exhausted.
It's great.
Yeah. It's a good time.
All right, who's next? Who's at the top this one?
All right, I know before I move on to discipline, last year we had students that didn't bring snow pants, or didn't have thick warm jackets, or didn't have snow boots. And Mrs. Crane mentioned the alternate ones that they give the kids, they're really kind of big and baggy and uncomfortable because they have to fit all sorts of sizes of kids. And the kids that had to wear them last year were kind of miserable. You know, we had kids that like they didn't have snow pants, they had jeans, or they had like athletic, like Adidas type pants, and they're not warm enough, they're not waterproof, and it was a nightmare for them. They were miserable. We go on night hikes, we go to campfire at night, so even if there's no snow in sight, it's cold. So snow pants are just, I can't recommend enough how important they are. So, so the discipline form, Mr. Netterson said he's never had to come up and get a student. I hope that doesn't start this year, but
And we had 105 students go last year, so.
yeah, there was 105
We can
fifth
do
graders,
this year.
So the instructors at camp are very, very, very strict, and what they use is a 3 strikes policy. So the first strike, and it's 3 strikes across the whole trip. So they could get a strike stepping off the bus, and that's how their time there will start. That doesn't go away the next day. So 3 strikes. The first strike is a warning, basically. They document it, but they just talk with their trail group or their cabin group leader, which we'll talk about soon. It's not warning, but they document it. So nothing officially happens besides, hey, that was not a good choice. They write it down. We know about it, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. Strike 2, they go to the office there. There's kind of, I would say, that it's like a director, but it's like a principal. So it's basically the principal of the camp. And they talk to the principal. They bring one of us in.
And you get a phone call from them.
Yeah, they get to call you, but it's not like, I miss you so much, I love you. It's like, I'm calling because I'm in trouble. You don't want that call, so that would be strike 2. And then they're getting on thin ice, because strike 3 is it. They go home. So we don't want to have that.
And you will be called to come get them. Yeah, Mr. Netterson was kind of being nice saying,
Yeah.
the camp really, they don't want us to take them. They really require the parent because they're releasing them from the school. So they don't want the school taking them home. So they really do like want the parent to come up and get them. So they will.
It's not real convenient.
They don't want us to
Drive up the mountain,
So, yeah.
back down.
We're not a fun drive.
We're involved a lot in those conversations, though. We check
Yes.
the board continuously, and we're
Just as much as we are at school here.
in their ear the entire time.
The rules are pretty simple. There's 10 of them here. They get a buddy that they need to be with at all times. So in the middle of the night, there are not bathrooms in the cabins. There are bathrooms near the cabins. So if they have to get up and go to the bathroom, they take their buddy. They wake up their buddy and they go. But they really should never be wandering around by themselves anywhere. So that's rule 1. Rule 2 is that respect. You know, respect other people's property. Like, don't touch someone else's stuff if it's not theirs. 3 is to keep track of their own property. So that's why putting names on everything is so important, because there will be lost socks and lost underwear. And so everything. Just label everything. We can't say that enough. Step 4, or rule 4, is the cabins are all mixed up, as in all the boys will be together. It's gender cabins, but there might be a boy cabin and a girl cabin within, from here to that wall. So it's not like the whole camp is like all the boys are on this side and all the girls are on this side. So there's no reason for them to go into another person's cabin besides their own cabin. And if it's the other gender, that's like even worse. So, unless there's a reason, unless someone says, hey, we need to get in here, there's a bobcat or something. I don't know, I just made that up. So unless there's like an emergency, but they can't be wandering around going and finding their friends and finding the boys they like or the girls they like. And honestly, they don't have time for that. The trail and the cabin instructors are so aware of what's going on. It's pretty amazing how good they are. So Emergency plans, they talk about, they always have a set of clothes and their shoes and everything right next to their bed so that if there is ever an emergency, the stuff is right there to grab and go. They say here, you know, if you're involved in a fight or even pretend fighting or teasing or gossiping or anything, even if you didn't start it, that person could get a strike. And that even includes, actually, number 7 talks about like not littering, but not picking plants and picking leaves and, you know, messing up the trails. And it includes snow play. I know both years we've gone, the 3 of us, there's been some snow on the ground. Last year was ridiculous. It was literally up to our hips. I mean, we're not exaggerating. But the kids aren't allowed to play in the snow unless they have permission, because it just gets out of control. But I would say most of our strikes last year were because they were throwing snow.
And they did get snow fight time too.
And the instructors tell them, like, hey, if we get all our instruction done, we'll give you time to play in the snow. They're not mean like that. They know they're to have fun too. But like, there were kids throwing snow during lessons. So
and they were picking it up bare hands.
yeah.
So they're trying to protect their.
They have very strict rules about playing in the snow, that if they play in the snow, they need their gloves because they don't want their hands to get wet and have frostbite. I mean, there's all these reasons for these rules. So, but I would say that was our number 1 last year reason for strikes, was kids playing in snow when they weren't supposed to be. You know, 8 is just leaving the wildlife alone, animals and everything. 9 is all about the bathroom, and they do a great job of taking breaks during the different hikes or different lessons, and they all go together to the bathroom house, and hey, here's our bathroom break, here's our fill up your water bottle break. But they may be out on the trails and have to take care of business, and they talk about that too. It's called Happy Tree. It's really exciting. And number 10 is that whole wandering off thing. I told my class last year, I don't know about you, but some kids were worried about getting lost. And I said, listen, if you get lost, it's your fault.
You have to try it.
You've had to like try to be like, there's my group, I'm going to go that way. Like, to get lost, it would take an effort on the child's part. So the counselors are great. We can't say enough about them. But if someone gets lost or wanders off, it's their choice. So this discipline form does need to be signed by both your child and you. It's one of the packet items to return. And it's just, go over this with your child if they're not here today. I don't know if there's anything else.
No. Okay, I'm going to talk about the medical side of everything. So if your student has any kind of medication, you will need to pick up this form. Now this is only for prescription medications. So if it's an over-the-counter medication, you do not need this form, because over-the-counter medications are given by the medic up at camp. The medic is amazing. Every year we've gone, they have been the most incredible people ever. Yeah. He's really cute. But,
that helps.
But the
last year he was really good looking.
Yeah, the last year and the year before, they've both been so amazing.
So great with the kids.
They are super great with the kids, and they have pretty much any over-the-counter medication you can imagine. So Pepto is a big thing because we get a lot of stomach aches from nerves and homesickness and things like that. So one was called Pepto Steve because he gave Pepto to everybody that had a stomach ache. And then, but like cough medicine, Tylenol, Benadryl, those types of over-the-counter things. It is so much easier on everybody if you do not send those up and let the medic provide those for your child. Everything that gets sent up with one of these forms has to be, it's a very detailed log, and it's very, very complicated. So if it's any over-the-counter medication, you don't need that blue form. So in your packet, you have a yellow form that looks like this, and this is the consent for health. It's just a background check for your student to give any information that they might need to know if something were to happen. The thing I want to zoom in on is in step 3, where it says permission to administer over-the-counter medications. It's really tiny, but it's kind of confusing. So in there it says, in the event that something happens, can we give the medication? If you sign that, they cannot give the medication. So it seems kind of backwards. So do
Don't mark
not,
that.
do not sign this little initial here if you want them to be able to give the over-the-counter medications. So I know that's kind of
We
confusing.
have more, we can give them.
There's more we can do for them if you leave that open. But obviously it is your choice as a parent. If you don't want them to provide that, then sign that and they will not give them any kind of medication. So that is the biggest thing on this one. Other than that, it's just, glasses, any allergies and things like that. If you have any prescription medication, you do have to pick up this from us. This is not in your packet. This is only for anybody that needs prescription medication set up with their child. You do have to have a doctor's signature on this. So it does take some time. So it does take some time to get this one filled out. So just a heads up on that. You do have to have a doctor's stamp on there and a signature. All of this will get turned into the office, so nothing's different. You can just put it into the envelope just as you would any other paperwork. Okay? So this will be passed out.
That's for inhalers, EpiPens, anything like that.
Anything prescription-wise has to have that blue form, otherwise it will not be administered. And if they have any kind of medication that they take up on their own and it doesn't have a blue form, it is confiscated, given to us, and it cannot be given because they don't have permission to give it. So please do not send anything thinking like, oh, they take it all the time on their own. It cannot be done that way. We have to administer it through the medic just like we do at school. So, yes.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If there's a specific over-the-counter medication that you don't want administered, can you write that as an initial?
Yes,
Or that initial mean blanket across the board?
That initial will mean any over-the-counter medication. So on here there is one up here for anything else that we should know. Put in that there's like a little box right here that says anything else that you should know. Right in there, please do not administer whatever medication it is that you don't need to administer.
And then if there's topical creams that they need to take with them for like mosquito bites, like hydrocortisone cream my son has to use, is that considered medication?
If it's an over-the-counter, then they have it because they have the cortisone and all that stuff. They have like Neosporin and all that kind of stuff that's over-the-counter. But if it's a prescription one, then you'd have to fill out the blue form.
Okay, because it's just over-the-counter, but it's not taken orally, so I can't send it with him.
They can't have
They can't have any
any
kind of
medication,
Yeah, because I mean, even
like vitamins
yeah,
or.
even the like we had a kid with vitamins last year, and then we even have to. I mean, there's so many things. We even have to be careful with like oils and stuff because some other kids have sensitivity to oils, so we can't have the kids applying it to themselves in the cabins if we know, especially if there's no.
Is there a way, should I contact them to make sure they have it in stock?
You can absolutely call them. They are so great. If you guys call for any questions, they are awesome. They will tell you whatever. They'll give you a whole list of everything they have, and they might even give you better advice than I do. Because they're great.
So they have, like, in case of anaphylaxis that's unexpected, they have something, right?
Yeah, the medic has everything for that, yeah. And there were some issues last year with my health that I was impressed with what they were able to handle. I got sick last year with the flu, so they jumped in real quick. It's pretty awesome. Is there another hand?
Do you need one form for each medication or one form for every?
One form per student.
Yeah, there's room if there's
There's a
multiple,
couple
there's
places
room.
on there. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else medical-wise.
Don't wait till the last minute to do this. I know, like, we had people trying to give these to us the morning
As
of.
we're leaving on the bus.
And it's very stressful. Mrs. Hanson does all this paperwork, collects all the money. She's amazing. So if you see her, tell her thank you for
Give her
doing
a high
this.
five from us.
But she has to log everything, just like here. And I mean, it's like she's accounting for everything, and it's really stressful if people wait till the day that we leave because it's already stressful. She also has to, part of her job the morning that we leave is she has to go to every single person going on the trip, including us, and take our temperature. And if their temperature is above a certain degree, they don't get to get on the bus. So I don't know what the.
So on that note,
Yes.
when they come that day, do not let them come in their snow pants and jackets because it does raise their temperature. And so we have had a couple kids that have that borderline temperature, and we're like, take off your layers, and we'll take it again in a few minutes because they do not get on the bus if they have any kind of fever. I think it's 100.
I think it's 100.
It might be 99.
I feel like it might be 99.
It might be 99 because I think it was 99 this year. But yeah, there's a cutoff. We'll have to ask them to be sure.
So just, I would do this sooner rather than
Sooner
later
the better.
because of the doctor visit part of it.
Any other questions about medical relations? Or, yeah.
If that happens, and then a day later they're fine, would you be able to drive them up?
Yes.
And
They
then
will
we had
welcome them with open arms. They would love that if we
We've had
were
that
willing. Yep. We've had that where someone missed the first day and they came up the second day.
And sometimes Mr. Nederson comes up on one of the days, and sometimes he's
Yeah,
able to.
he can bring them in
bring
too,
them.
with your consent. So, yeah, he comes up to visit.
Usually Wednesday.
Usually Wednesday.
Is.
I have a medication question. If they take like an my son takes an over-the-counter allergy med every night, Claritin, do they have that?
They do have Claritin. Again, you can, if you want to check like Claritin D versus Claritin or something, if you want to call them and make sure they have what you want to be given, then you just double check. But yeah, they do. He opened up the cabinet and it was pretty
It's
impressive.
like CBS.
Yeah.
Does that include Dramamine for car sickness? Right now?
Yes, and you can actually give them Dramamine. The medic can give it to them before we get on the bus, and you can give it to them before we get on the bus here. We usually bring snacks for them on the bus, like just for ear popping and things like that. We have waters just in case and all that kind of stuff for the bus ride, but we ask that they don't bring anything because then it causes problems once we're up on the mountain. Yeah, cabin trail groups, that was from my packet. The cabin groups, like Mrs. Edmiston said, the cabin groups are boy and girl, so they'll be sleeping with the same gender, but their trail